Namo Buddhaya. So I think this is my third or fourth day here in this Thai Forest Monastery on the coast, the Gulf of Thailand, and a few comments of how beautiful these surroundings are, what a lovely place to be, and what a refuge, how conducive it must be to my practice. And yes, of course it is, but we must remember it is not what we're receiving through our sense doors of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, not what we're thinking. It is inside where we find true refuge. It is inside where we find beauty, calm, serenity and peace. Through our practice, through keeping moral virtue, the precepts, through meditation, and through the development of good, wholesome mind states and the reduction of bad, unwholesome mind states, the development of panya, wisdom. And we can do this in any location. And someone asked, are you going to be staying there? It looks so nice, and it clearly is easier for a Buddhist monk to practice here, which is a Buddhist country, so it's very supportive to that cause. Well, in answer to that question, it isn't for me to answer. One of the things a monastic lets go of is that decision-making process. To some extent, after you've been a bhikkhu for more than 5 years, you can decide to wander or where to go. And I have an element of freedom myself because of my maturing physical years, if not monastic years. But we are bound by our upacharya, our senior teacher, to go where we're told, or ask his permission if we have an inclination or a desire to go somewhere. But bear in mind, it is desires and these wanting rather than needing that we are working on eradicating in our lives. However, we are the result of our conditions and supported by those conditions, and also legislatively through different countries' rules on visas and comings and goings, of what you can, what you can't do. There is some external aspect of that decision-making process also done for me that I have no say in. And actually Thailand is about the easiest place for me to stay long term. I wouldn't have to do so many visa runs or any, and they support monastics. Pharangs is what they call foreigners here, but specifically foreign monks are called Phra Pharang. Phra is like Bhante, venerable in Thai, and if you're foreign, you're Phra Pharang. So yes, it could be. Watch this space. I don't know. I hadn't planned even to go to India. It was as a result of my conditions, which were as a result of my practice, that led me to be there. And I was there for 3 years, or over 2 years, 2.5 years. And I'm still there, still intending. I have a return ticket to go back after 45 days here. But I may try and get an extension, but I don't know. It depends. This is, I will say, very supportive to my practice. I can literally dedicate everything to the practice. There is nothing for me to worry about in terms of where I'm getting my food. In India, if I stay in the monastery, the same. But in the monasteries there, it is busy. Outside of the monastery, then each and every day is very different. Here, it's a very supported structural routine for all monastics. And this particular monastery I again found by chance, the circumstances. I was on Tudong, fully intended to go just wandering in this area around these regions. I knew of this monastery. I went on alms round. I had way too much food, so I thought, why it's the nearest place to get to from where I was. I walked to this monastery with all the food. No, I got on the back of someone's motorbike, got a lift, and now I'm still here. And this can happen on Tudong. Walk into a monastery, 45, 50 years later, you're still there. I've heard stories like that. Let's see. So please keep watching. Now, how are your resolutions going, your determinations after the new year? We're 2 weeks in. I've had to make some new determinations and resolutions here, because when you move into a monastery, you make some determinations and resolutions which are just reiterating some of the practicalities, what bits of cloth you use, which bowl you're using, and where you sit. And you make these with other monks, you make them to yourself. They're not like giving up drinking or giving up smoking. We've already done those kind of things, but it's the same idea, because you're making a determination for a period of time. But as we're 2 weeks into the year, I think in some countries they have a no drinking or something. I don't know, it's a popular thing maybe in January, if that's what you're trying. Let's use that as an example. We as Buddhists who are keeping the 5 precepts, of course, the 5th precept is no intoxicants, they shouldn't be drinking. So the Buddhists may have already done that and understand that already. But if you're Buddhist, if you're not Buddhist, but if you're trying to give up drinking, or you're trying to do something extra, like go to the gym more often, or I don't know, do random acts of kindness, something like that, positive things, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're trying, 2 weeks into this month of January, you're halfway through. Well done. If you feel you have fallen off the wagon and you feel you have failed, remember, you have not failed. Why? Because you tried. And if at first you don't succeed, try again. So it is not failure. If you've fallen off the wagon or you've not gone to the gym, try again. The actual date really doesn't matter, whether it's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, or August, September, November, December. It doesn't matter. You tried for a few days and you managed a few days. If you were trying for 1 day and you'd managed 3 days, you'd be very happy. So keep your goals safe, so your targets safe. So if you want to give something up, do it in parts. Say, I'm going to give this up for today, and then tomorrow you can look back, well, I managed for yesterday, can I do it again today? And try again. Or even hour by hour, or minute by minute, it doesn't matter. This way, each time you get through a day or an hour or a minute, you can pat yourself on the back, give yourself encouragement and the needed energy, enthusiasm, virya or vayama, to carry on with that determination. And this is the important thing to remember. You never fail if you've tried. Even if you only managed for half an hour and then you had to go to the pub. You tried. The intention was there. Intention is the most important thing. If you accidentally tread on an ant and it dies, it is not a sin. It is not breaking a precept. It was not your intention. It was an accident. It happened. It's the ant's bad karma. And now a little bit of yours, but only a tiny bit, because it was no intention behind it. If you see an ant and stamp on it because you don't like ants, the intention is there. It's killing. One of the worst precepts to break, or the worst precept to break. Unless you extend it even worse and say killing your mother or father, but that's another question. So, you've not failed. Your intention is there. Keep the intention and encourage yourself in the intention, but by making the target easy. Then as you meet the targets, you can slowly, gradually extend them. So I hope your resolutions, your determinations are going well. The settling in here is going well. I'm now rested, relaxed, not tired anymore from all of the sleepless nights of going on buses back and forth to where I was on the west coast into the city, into the middle of South India, Bangalore, which was every 15 days, a 36-hour time of awakeness on busy buses, and then the trip here was 3 days of no sleep, 3 nights of no sleep. I'm fully recovered, rested, revitalized, able to practice 9 hours meditation a day without problem, more if I want. But also I've got nice sweeping paths I can do, wander on the beach. Just living here is a practice in itself. Just literally anything you do, even from walking to the sala or up to the temple or even going to the toilet, it's meditation. You're on your own. No one speaks English here. There are 4 other monks, 2 bhikkhus, 2 samaneras. Bhikkhus are fully ordained, samaneras are on the way, and I'm a bhikkhu, so there's 3 bhikkhus now here. He's very supportive. I am healthy. I was feeling a bit dodgy, I didn't say, but because of the food, I wasn't eating properly in India. I was relying on what I could get, and that was rice and dal. And they say you can live on rice and dal, but for 3 years you start to suffer. You get, funny little things. Your skin gets uncomfortable, and I just wasn't doing 100%. And I feel in just a few days of being in Thailand, the food is in such abundance and such a variety. You're getting all of your nutriments. I no longer have to take any vitamin B12 pills or vitamin C tablets. I was having to take those. I don't know whether they worked. I don't think they do as well as proper food, but I was in India just to be sure. I thought, well, I best take something because I was just eating rice and dal. Because of the way there is fruit there, but the way we have to have it offered and the times when we're allowed to eat it, there wasn't an opportunity for me. So I was getting no fruit or really any fresh vegetables, and they overcook the vegetables they have in there, any dishes that they do have. So I think the goodness has gone. Not because of their fault, because of the time of day I was eating, because of being a monk. So it's not so supportive. But here, of course, they're up at 3 in the morning cooking for you, and it's all ready for you to pick up on your arms round at 5:30 in the morning. So I kind of forgotten what I was going to talk about now. I was going to say, because I've had some nice comments and things. Oh yeah, about those causes and conditions as to why I'm here. Certain things I can't talk about in open forum with regards to, say, the visa or immigration rules for either normal people or monastic people. India, Thailand, I don't want to discuss that on air. I don't want to get into trouble by sharing any views unintentionally or intentionally. But gladly, if you have any questions about that, or you're giving up anything, please email me directly. You don't have to send a letter by email. It's nothing formal. I'll just treat it like a text or a comment, but it's just between you and me. In this comments forum, it's everybody can see it, so I be very careful what I say with regards to legislative issues, and not that I'm sure anyone would see them, but just being respectful to the location where I am, the country that I am in, and the laws that we abide to. So yeah, please, comments are great. They're useful, fantastic, and questions. And by all means, don't forget you can email just as easily. Actually, I know it's not just as easy. I have some problems getting confused with emails sometimes, but no, I got used to it now. And you don't have to write a long letter. And I get it just as quickly. I check my emails as often as I check these comments. I have to check them for all these visa update things, you see. Which do change literally by the hour here, and I think in other countries too, and it depends from where you're from. So it's once a day, you've got to be up to date with that. So I don't think I answered the question or even asked the question. The question was that I don't want to answer is, am I going back to India? Well, I don't know. There is a technicality in this latest visa thing, which I shouldn't be talking about, I suppose. No. But I don't think I can. But that's my misunderstanding, maybe. So, yeah, very happy to be here. and I'm going to keep this video short today because it takes a little while for them to upload. I've got nothing specific to talk about. What I do want to talk about and show you in the next few days, weeks, once I've got the feel for the place and permission to do so. As I say, there's no one speaks English and I don't speak Thai, so I have to watch, follow, see, try and understand that way how things go, what happens here. At the weekend it's half one Phra, which is the quarter moon, the bit between full moon and new moon. In Thailand it's the half moon, we call it. They celebrate that here like an impositor, and if it's at the weekend, which it is Sunday, I think there'll be a lot of lay people here, maybe, and they're bound to speak English, so I might get some communication going and get a better feel for the history of this place, which I'd like to talk to you about. I'd like to know myself about. I have no idea about where it comes from, whom from which lineage it's a part of, because we have different lineages. All bhikkhus have been ordained by a senior bhikkhu of more than 12 years, minimum, that is, absolute minimum, who was ordained by another, like a family tree, right back to the Buddha, and that lineage can be traced, you see. And monasteries likewise have a lineage of their sangha, their monastics that live there, have been abbots and run the place. So this is interesting, and also its very presence, this location, which is a very interesting and very beautiful location, as some people have commented. I'd like to know more about that, and I'll share that with you too, along with some videos also. My daily routine is very simple. I wake up at 2 AM. I can meditate for a while. The bell goes at 4. There is morning puja. I haven't been to it yet. They said to me not to go. I don't know why. Or maybe they don't have morning puja. I'm sure they do. It's just maybe it's only at weekends or something. 5:30 we go down to the sala, go on alms round. We're usually back by about 6:45, drop our food off at the sala place. This is the building at the bottom of the hill where all the lay people go. There's also the nuns live, the mechis as they call them in Thailand, over that side, and there's accommodation for lay people who are here on staying. Some of them stay these Upasta weekends, you see. And we go back to our kutis, which are halfway up the hill, and the main temple is at the top of the hill. That's often the way they make these places. Then I sweep for a little while, sweep my paths around my kuti, because the leaves are always falling, so it's a never-ending task. But it's a very beautiful, lovely thing to do. These long Thai brooms, handmade, that you go whoosh, 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 like whipping, and the air moves all the leaves aside. Very beautiful and lovely thing to do. I do that for half an hour or so, then we go through back to the sala for about 7:30, meet the lay people, they offer more things, requisites, we give them the blessing, eat at 8, by about 8:30 we're finished. That is our only meal. No more snacks this day. I've had to get used to that, because normally I'm eating a little bit of breakfast in India, maybe some snacks, buns, banana buns, and then 11:30 have my meal. Kind of halfway through the day. Now we're having it at 8, and then that's it until 8 the following day. But I'm used to it, just 3 days, and I did this for a long time before at the other monastery nearby where I was once before, here in this same area of Thailand. So you soon get used to it. If you think about it, it doesn't make any difference what time it is, it's still only every 24 hours. The meal's finished, the bowls are, we spend some time putting our bowl in order, cleaning that. Then we are free, I suppose, by about 9 o'clock to go back to our kuti. I usually have some item of my robes to wash. If you wash one item each day, you're never short of something to wear whilst it's washing and drying, because you have a few items, so one thing each day means you've always got something on. That takes a few minutes, and then I've got time for meditation, or I can go down to the beach. Yesterday I even had a little swim. Bathing, I call it bathing, because monks are not allowed to play in water. That's a rule breaker. but I wasn't playing in water. There was just me. There's a private beach, monks only. So, and the other monks, they don't seem to go down there much. And that's it then, until 2 o'clock. Then 2 o'clock is what you'd call work period time, usually in monasteries, 2 till 4 or something like that. Here it's 2 till 3, and just sweeping my paths. I just have my paths, and actually I sweep the paths all the way down to the beach. It's really nice, down the steps, down to the beach. It's sand as well, sweeping leaves off sand, like this, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Such a lovely thing to do. You know, as a child, when you get a stick and you go whoosh, 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 like this. I don't know whether anybody else did that, but it was a fascinating. It's like that. It's very satisfying. Essential desire, satisfying essential desire, but it's a rhythmic, repetitive, and therefore meditative process. There's no thinking. It's like watching the breath. It repeats. It's the same. In breath, out breath. Just seeing the difference between the temperature in, the temperature out. And then 3 o'clock, after that, 2 o'clock, 2, 3 o'clock, time for tea, nampana, which we have tea or coffee, no milk, because that would be food, or we have a fizzy drink like Coca-Cola, something like that, which comes, the lay people bring it in a big ice box with ice. You can get cold drinks here. Very difficult to get cold drinks in India. They like hot water even. If they drink water, they like it hot. That's a luxury. It's a thing for them. I don't know why. But for a hot country. But here, lots of cold. Well, it's only that time, 3 o'clock. But there's lots in there, so you can have a nice cold Coca-Cola if that's what you fancy, or some other fruit juice, whatever. That's all we're allowed. Then 4 o'clock, it's evening puja and meditation with the lay people. So the puja goes on for about half an hour, 40 minutes maybe, chanting, not long, not very long at all. And then meditation for about 20 minutes, 40 minutes. The whole thing's over within an hour, but very beautifully done. 4 monks, 3 monks at the front there, us 3 and 2 samanyeras, and then the lay people. I don't know the chanting. I used to know it, but it's the same as in India, but it's all done in a slightly different order and in a very different way. So I'm just getting back used to that. And of course some of it, they repeat every other line in Thai, which completely confused me at first. I couldn't find it even in my chanting book because of course I didn't recognize the words. But now I've worked that one out, it should be easier this evening. But it's fine, not a problem. We have to sit in a slightly different way when we're chanting as well, which is a bit of a problem. We have to sit on our feet, haunches they call, sitting on your haunches. We're not allowed to sit on our feet down. We have to sit on our feet up, on our toes if you like, with our bottoms on our heels. If you can imagine that, it's all right for about 3 seconds, then it hurts. So for 7 or 8 minutes of the first preliminary chanting, when we have to sit like that, I'll get used to it because I used to do it before, but I've not been doing that for a little while. Another determination to get used to that and to keep trying, and not thinking of it as a failure if I don't get through the whole of the preliminary chanting like that. Just think, well, I tried, and then try again. A lesson to myself. I should make a note of that, shouldn't I? Yes, and then obviously between tea and puja is time for a shower, bathing. I have a little washroom here with a big earthenware, is that the thing you call it, like clay, like a pottery, like a flower pot, but very big, like an Alibaba flower pot. Nice paintings on the outside, but that brown terracotta thing with a metal tin lid. And in this, you fill it up with water, and it's full of water, and that's my water. You have a pot and you throw this over yourself like a shower. That's how you wash here. And then behind me, I don't think you can see it, there's a big water tank, which is where I gather that water must come from. And how the water gets in the water tank, I don't know. But gladly it gets in there. It's not one of these monasteries where you've got to go and get it from. Where I was staying in India, I wasn't allowed to because they were very protective over the wells, but the people where I stayed, you used to have to go and get it from the well. And of course you're limited how much you can get that way. Drinking water though, that was mainly, they did have a feed for this kind of water, washing and things. So then after puja, I've gone into my whole daily routine. I wasn't intending to do that, but after puja, so that's 5, I have the evening. It's nice to sit on the beach. It's not been a sunset time, it's been cloudy since I arrived, but I'm sure it'll be quite impressive when the weather, well, I can't say improves, it's beautiful, it's lovely, it's just ideal at the moment. It's cool, it's not too cool, it's dry, it's just very nice, very perfect. But I can sit there, or I can do walking meditation. I've got walking meditation paths, which I'll show you at some point, which also have to be kept swept, at least your own, because you need them. And then it's practice really until 10 o'clock when I go to sleep again. Sleep from 10 till 2, and that's my daily routine. And this time seems to be useful to have a cup of coffee. I do still keep some black coffee handy, and my little heating element to make that. Although in the little building where we have afternoon tea, there are those facilities also. But I don't think anyone else goes there during the day, just at random. So I'll keep my black coffee. It's an allowable, it's a lifetime tonic black coffee. It comes under medicine in a way. And water we can help ourselves to. It's the only thing we can help ourselves to. It doesn't need to be offered. So those two things I'm allowed to have as much as I like of, without breaking a rule. And these rules, you know, we are our own judge, jury and executioner. I mean, these rules are for the support of our practice. I'm talking about monastics, but also for lay Buddhists who are listening. Your 5 precepts are there for the support of your practice. And if you come on the Wanpra, the Uposita days, full moon, new moon, and here in Thailand, half moons, then you may take the 8th precept, which is even more supportive to your practice of sila, samadhi and panya, this development of wisdom, which is what we are here to do. One comment, I remember I was making a little video of one of these lizard things, geckos, eating its lunch, which was poor mosquitoes. And someone said, yes, life is suffering, all life is suffering. And of course, yes, all life is suffering. But this path, this teachings of the Buddha, and this practice of sila, samadhi, panya, the development of wisdom, nicca, dukkha, anatta, is the path leading towards freedom from suffering in this lifetime. And knowing that you can be free from suffering in this lifetime by the eradication of unwholesome desire is the practice, and is where there is no dukkha, where there is no suffering. And this is the path to nibbana. So I wish you a fruitful practice. May your meditation be enjoyable. This is the main thing. If you've given something up for January, keep going, keep at it, well done. If you have stopped giving up, don't worry, try again. And if it becomes February, it doesn't matter. Try it again in February, it's a shorter month. So might be easier, but it doesn't matter. The dates mean nothing. Each hour is a success. Each day is even more so. So if you think you can do a day, set your target at half a day, and before you know it, it'll be the following day, and you can add another day on. Alright, so good luck with that. All determinations are positive, wholesome mind states to generate energy through the encouragement and the satisfaction you get from actually succeeding in renunciation, giving something up. The Pali word nekkhamma, it's one of the 10 paramis, perfections in life, and this is what it's about, perfecting our lives for happiness, which is the result of contentment. May you be happy and content. Namo Buddhaya.